What up, is Dane here, back from holiday. In this video I'm going to talk about rest pause training, because a lot of people are going on about rest pause training. Well, not a lot of people, but some will say it's better than the traditional multiple set training. So without further ado, man, let's get into the video. Okay, so there was a study that included 9 subjects each. Now I don't want to get too much into the detail. I'll put all the stuff on the screen here so I don't bore you too much. However, basically one group had 20 seconds rest in between and then were working to failure, and the other group, the traditional set group that most people do are straight sets, they basically just had longer rest, 2 to 3 minutes in between each set. The rest pause training basically worked to failure, whereas the traditional multiple set group didn't. So they took the measurement of the 1 rep max or the bench press, the leg press, and the good old bicep curls. They also tested the muscular endurance with an AMRAP, and AMRAP is basically as many reps as possible with 60% of their 1 rep max. As well as this, they also tested the muscle thickness of the chest, arm and thighs, and the body composition with the skin folds. There were no significant differences in the groups between the 1 rep max. And when it came to muscular endurance, there was a significant increase in the leg press, the amount of repetitions they could do. But other than that, no really, and of course that was in a rest pause training group. And when it came to body composition like fat mass, fat-free mass, all this kind of stuff, there wasn't really much significant differences at all as well. And when it came to muscle thickness, actually the rest pause had a significant greater effect when it came to the circumference of the thigh. However, when it came to the chest and the arm, there was a difference, but not a significant difference. So basically, the rest pause training had some differences, I would say some significant differences and some non-significant differences. Basically meaning rest pause training, I guess, had a little bit of an edge, but here's why. The rest pause training group, and this is a big limitation of the study, worked basically to failure, whereas the traditional set group didn't always work to failure. And like I said at the start, for some individuals, remember, they had to do 3 sets of 6 reps at their 80% 1 rep max. Now, for some individuals, they could do maybe 8 reps or 10 reps, but they were forced to stop at 6, meaning they didn't work to failure. So what can we pull from this? What conclusion, what practical application can we have here? Here's the deal. In order to maximize muscular hypertrophy, we must take some sets to failure or near failure. If you're not taking any sets to failure or near failure, then you're probably not maximizing hypertrophy and you're leaving them gains on the table. So the main reason why rest pause training probably had the edge here is because of the fatigue that was accumulated, and that of course increased the motor unit recruitment and muscle fiber activation. For example, to put this into really simple terms, let's say we had to do a 15 rep max, so 15 reps. Now, if someone had to stop at, let's say, about 10 reps, and another person had to stop at, let's say, 14 reps. The person that stopped at 14 reps closer to failure, they accumulated a lot more fatigue, and therefore they increased the motor unit recruitment and the muscle activation. Meaning, if you're going to take a set to suboptimal, I don't know what we could say, range, so you're leaving a lot in the tank, you're not getting anywhere close to failure, again, we're leaving gains on the table. So that's just like a simplified version of me making that up. Another limitation to the study is that there are just 9 subjects in each group, which is a very, very small sample size to draw a conclusion. Now, before you conclude in your own head that rest pause training is superior, keep this in mind. When we have shorter rest in between sets, it does actually impair volume load. Now, the volume load is the sets times the reps times the weight. So if the volume load is decreased, likely you're also leaving gains on the table. That said though, in this study, volume load was not actually impacted whatsoever or significantly. On the other hand though, short rest may also lead to greater hypertrophy because of the occlusion-like effects and a muscle activation. The occlusion is basically the muscle pump and the hypoxia. So all of these fancy techniques like rest pause training, drop sets, supersets, vascular occlusion, they all work by the same mechanism, and sure, they should, or they could be in your routine, but they shouldn't make like the 80% of your routine bar. So they work by this mechanism. They work by increasing metabolic stress And obviously when you're doing a drop set and all these other good techniques, they increase fatigue. Now when you get more fatigue and you're working close to failure or towards failure, again we're increasing the motor unit recruitment and again muscle activation. And if you've been watching me by now, you know that metabolic stress is one of the 3 pillars to muscular hypertrophy, or at least maximizing it, right? So mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage, again linking in with metabolic stress. So what can we draw throughout this whole video? This is it. Rest pause training taken to failure is more superior than, let's say, if you match the volume load to a traditional set, if only that traditional set is suboptimal, meaning you stop like 5 to 6 reps shy of failure. So basically rest pause training is just a more time efficient way of achieving some hypertrophy. And as well as this, it does also show that we need to take some sets close or near to failure. So that's what we could draw from this video. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your opinion. And that's it. Stay positive, stay smiling. Let's get these gains, and I'm out.
No, there ain't no stopping us.